Red Sox. The lineup for Bobby Valentine tonight. Ellsbury, Pedroia, top of the order. Adrian Gonzalez has reached base in each of his 4 games this season. Flip-flop David Ortiz and Kevin Youkilis. Last night they hit in the opposite order, middle of the lineup. Ryan Sweeney had a big RBI single in the 9th inning. Cody Ross, Jared Saltalamacchia, Nick Punto, the switch hitter, gets a little start at shortstop.
It's a very good offensive team. They led the major leagues in runs last year, so Kyle Drabek wants to quickly put behind him last season. It was a learning experience, I think, for Drabek. Last time he finished with a record under 500 for a full season, you have to go all the way back to his first year in 2006 when he was in the Rookie Gulf Coast League. I think he learned a lot about pitching. I think he learned a lot about himself, and he has a chance tonight to get off to a good start.
Kyle Drabek's been under the microscope all spring long. He's made some adjustments, and now it's time to check in with our baseball insider. Here's Shai Davidi with more on Drabek.
Well, the mechanical issues that Kyle Drabek had on the mound were no surprise to the Blue Jays, but resolving them was a much tougher task. They really got at it during spring training, and what they did was put 2 yellow strings on either side of the pitching rubber and told him to maintain his delivery through those 2 lines. What they wanted to do was ensure that his body maintained a momentum towards home plate. He had a tendency to fall off to the first base side, and that's what led to a lot of his problems. Now, the Blue Jays feel that that's a big step in his development, and for Kyle, he says that last year he wasn't ready to really kind of listen to the advice and try to incorporate those changes, but doing some soul searching over the winter, he really figured that this is what he needed to do and went at it full hog during spring training. Buck?
Great information, Shai, and if you look at the mound, watch his left foot come down right on that line. And Drabek drew those lines before he started his warm-up right here tonight.
Pointing his toe towards home plate where you're trying to throw the baseball. That one shot that we had of him working in the bullpen, the arm is in a great spot. And when you have those type of mechanics where everything is flowing towards home, that's when you're going to be in the strike zone a lot more.
And Shai Davidi is going to be with us all year long, bringing us that type of insight. Very timely piece of information from our Sportsnet Baseball Insider. We are set for action tonight. Jacoby Ellsbury wore out the Blue Jays last season. He led all opponents against the Blue Jays in runs scored, hits, and RBI. He took an 0 for last night and grounded out 3 times. He was 0 for 4. First pitch of the ball game from Kyle Drabek. He's in there for a strike. Don't get in a rush tonight to know whether it's a ball or a strike. Tim McClellan, the crew chief, is behind the plate. He is very deliberate, shooting that right arm into the air. Ball on the strike. Good velocity early on at 95.
Yeah, that's a thing that Kyle Drabek has always had, that good velocity, as long as he can keep it in the strike zone and make that ball work for you.
Bouncing ball. Look at Laurie's range. Going wide to his left. He makes an easy play. First out of the ball game.
That's a good sign. Let's take a look at the scouting report for Kyle Drabek, brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Last season, this is his pitch selection in the 2011 season, and I thought that he fell into love with his cutter a lot more than he should have. I think he needs to establish his fastball. What the Blue Jays have done, they've basically taken that cutter away from him and said, look, Kyle, we're going to teach you the 2-seam fastball, and you're going to use it to get the ball down in the strike zone. You can still throw that great curveball and that good changeup, but it's that 2-seamer. And John Farrell says the 2-seamer just seems to calm Kyle Drabek down just a little bit more.
Calms down hitters, too. Dustin Pedroia had a couple extra base hits in last night's game. Looked at a first pitch strike. It's 1-1. What a player Pedroia is. Hit a home run in the 6th. That was the first Red Sox run of the ball game, and then got a leadoff double in the 9th. That started a 3-run rally.
What did he tell you today before the game, that he never hits the first pitch? Or what you told him, he never hits the first pitch?
He only swings at the first pitch of an at-bat 4% of the time. Last night in the 9th inning, he sensed that Santos was going to try to get ahead of him, and he jumped all over that high heater.
See, I think that's why he's such a good hitter. He thinks things through. He's very smart, has an idea, and we said it back in his early at-bats. He could hit the high fastball.
Strike 3 call. Right on the outside corner, Pedroia's caught looking. First strikeout of the game for Kyle Drabek.
There's that deliberate strike call that you were talking about with the crew chief, Tim McClellan. But watch him as he drives this ball to the outside part of the plate. Right on the corner with a good little late action to it.
Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez had a sacrifice fly in the ninth inning. That tied the game at 2-all. Broken bat, little looper to Brett Lawrie, who was around on the shift. Just 8 pitches for Kyle Drabek to get through the first. Bautista has 16 home runs against the Boston Red Sox. That's the most for Bautista against any opponent. Adam Lynn moves up into the cleanup spot tonight against the right-hander Daniel Bard.
Daniel Bard was one of the more dominant setup men in baseball. He'll try to transition into the starting rotation. This will be his first big league start. Started 22 games, but you have to go back to 2007, the last time Barb was a starter. That was in the minor leagues when he was an A-ball for the Boston Red Sox. He possesses a great fastball and a very good off-speed pitch. The thing that he was trying to work on in the spring was try to get that third pitch, and it's a changeup. Try to develop that because as a starter, you need those 3 pitches.
Right-handers don't fare well at all against Daniel Bard. He hit just 136 last year. Bard is making his first start after 192 big league appearances out of the bullpen. Yunel Escobar just 3 for 22 so far this season. First pitch swinging. Base hit for Escobar. Now the Blue Jays as a team hitting just 190 at the start of play tonight. They need to get the bats going.
Fastball right down the middle for Escobar. That is the pitch that he has been missing. Pitchers have been trying to jam him so far early in the season. He's been pulling off the ball a little bit. That time he squeaked it by Youkilis.
Kelly Johnson hitting in the 2 spot in the lineup, off to a good start. Johnson is 6 for 17. He's also walked 5 times. Takes that pitch up and in. Right now, Johnson's seeing the ball better than anybody in the Jays lineup.
Yeah, Ford to take that first pitch as he tracks it all the way into the glove of Saltalamacchia. He has been hitting left-handers, right-handers, off-speed pitches, fastballs, just about everything.
Pops this ball up. Nick Punto starting at shortstop tonight. Backs up in shallow left, makes the catch. 1 down. Punto starting at shortstop, the 34-year-old veteran with 9 years of big league service. Jose Bautista, we mentioned his 16 home runs against the Red Sox. That's the most for him against any opponent. Escobar led off with a single.
This might be a good matchup, I think, for Jose Bautista to snap out of the little mini slump that he has been in. Pitchers have been trying to jam him with hard stuff and then throw a lot of soft stuff away from Jose, and he's been pulling off the ball just a little bit.
And the breaking ball, it's 2-0.
Right here. You know, Bard possesses a very good fastball. And this is the time right here to challenge Bautista. Jose can get ready for what?
Bautista is 0 for 6 against Daniel Bard. Swing and a miss. That head flew off that pitch a bit.
You see how he's pulling off of it right there on that 2-0 fastball. He's been swinging at those pitches that are away from him. And when you pull off, watch that front side collapse just a little bit. The head pulls off the ball.
2 balls and a strike, 1 down. And there's another strike inside. They mentioned Kelly Johnson, how well he's seeing the ball right now. It appears to me Jose Bautista is not really picking up the baseball just yet.
Yeah, not like he did last year when he got off to such a great start in April and May.
Hit 366 in the month of April a year ago. Blue Jays have just 1 stolen base so far. That was Rajai Davis in the Cleveland series. Full count.
Hitting is timing, and you can watch Jose Bautista now. His timing just hasn't been there, but he'll find it. That was one of the big things that he had to do when he came over to Toronto. His timing with that leg kick that he has. That's where he has generated a lot of his power.
Saltalamacchia and Bard took a little while to get their heads together. Bautista stepped out to regroup a bit. Full count, 1 out. Escobar at first with a leadoff single. Kelly Johnson popped up to short. Bautista drives it to right. Ryan Sweeney over near the foul line makes an easy play. They're 2 down.
Let's take a look at Daniel Bard, the scatter report for the young right-hander. You mentioned that he was a very top-notch setup man. Well, he's got to develop a 3rd pitch. When he came out of the bullpen, it was basically fastball slider. That changeup, I think he's got to get that percentage up just a little bit more. He possesses 95 to 98, anywhere in between there with his fastball, and his breaking ball is good. He has faced the Blue Jays a couple of times this year in spring training, and they've had their share of Daniel Bard over the years.
Adam Lynn batting with 2 outs. It's their first pitch strike on the outside corner. John Farrell has Lynn back in the cleanup spot tonight. Last night against the left-hander Felix Dubront, he used Encarnacion as the 4 hitter, and Lynn dropped into the 5 spot. Fouls it back. What's the biggest challenge for Daniel Bard to make the transition from relief pitcher to starter?
I think for Bard, he has talked about either you can go max effort for that 1 inning. You have to pace yourself now as a starter. I think he needs to develop that 3rd pitch. He's got to think about 18, 21 outs, something like that, to get him through each one of his starts. When you're an elite setup man like that, you can basically get by with just a fastball.
Upstairs. This transition with Bard is not that dissimilar to that of Brandon Morrow. Morrow started out with the Seattle Mariners, pitching out of the bullpen. Made 60 appearances in 2007, and the transition for Morrow has been a lengthy one.
It's taken him a couple of years to learn himself.
There's a fair ball just inside the bag at 3rd. Escobar is headed toward 3rd. Brian Butterfield will stop him there as Lynn delivers a 2-out double.
Take it any way you can get it. It looked like he was beat on this pitch by Daniel Bard, but somehow gets on top of it and keeps it fair down the left field line. Ball got in on him, but he kept his hands close to the body. Ball ricochets off the wall. Cody Ross did a fine job of getting over there very quickly to cut that ball off, and that did not allow Escobar to circle the bases with the game's first run.
Second double of the season for Adam Lynn. He's at second. Escobar's at third for Edwin Encarnacion. Good rip at that first pitch fastball at 95. Encarnacion leads the Blue Jays with 4 RBI. He's come out of spring training swinging a good bat.
He's got a very aggressive swing, but it's been a very compact swing so far in the early parts of this season. He has dealt with some wrist problems over the last couple of years, but this year, since the first day of spring training, he has been healthy. And it has shown. Here are his numbers against the Red Sox.
5-game hit streak. A couple of doubles, a home run, and 8 RBIs over the span of those 5 games. The 0-2 pitch. It's a high slider. When we come back, top of the second inning, we'll be joined by the Senior Vice President of Baseball Operations, Alex Anthopoulos, who has been kind enough to come to the booth and join us, and we'll talk about this ball club. We'll also dip down into the minor leagues and see how things have started off for those minor league ball clubs. 1-2. On the ground, Punto knocks it down, bobbles it. Escobar comes in to score. Punto went to his right, backhanded it, and in an effort to get up, bobbled the ball. It's an infield base hit for Encarnacion. He picks up his 5th RBI of the season. The Blue Jays lead it 1-0.
And a 2-out RBI, which is always a good thing. Encarnacion has done that a few times this year. If Punto comes up with this cleanly, he has a shot at getting Encarnacion over at first base, but in the transfer from the glove to the hand, he bobbles it. Daniel Bard says, no. Help me out there. Mike Aviles played shortstop last night for Bobby Valentine's Red Sox.
Brett Laurie. Bard used the old fake to third trick, thinking that they might try something here. This is not a situation where you expect the Blue Jays to run. Encarnacion had 8 steals a year ago, but I think you're going to let Laurie hit in this situation.
Certainly. You've got a man in scoring position, a guy in an RBI spot.
There he goes. Maybe they knew something was up. Encarnacion steals it. His first stolen base of the season, number 2 for the Blue Jays.
Maybe shades of last year when the Blue Jays were in Fenway Park. They were trying double steals and squeezes and first and third steals. That time, I think they've seen something in Bard's time to home plate, and they're going to try and take advantage of that.
There's a breaking ball down and away. It's 0-2. The Blue Jays have inside information on Daniel Bard. Their manager was Bard's pitching coach. And they know a lot about this Red Sox pitching staff. Laurie's got a battle. He's in a hole 0-2. Runners at second and third. Cut on and missed. Bard strikes out Laurie to end the first, but the Blue Jays are on the board 1-0. Encarnacion delivers. be joined by the Senior Vice President of Baseball Operations and the GM, Mr. Alex Anthopoulos. Alex, thank you for coming tonight. Give me your impression of Kyle Drabek in the first.
Like you said, one inning, but you like what you see. It's his lines to the plate, his balance. When you see him not flying off to first base, it's a good sign. But the fact that he's hitting his spots, and especially the corners, is really good to see.
Must be real satisfying on the heels of what Alvarez did last night.
Yeah, there's no doubt. They're both real important for us, and it's not to put more on them, but the ability and the upside that they both have, knowing that you have guys like Romero and Morrow. These two guys have as much ability as the other two guys, so if they can click for us during the season, we could have a real good starting four.
You were telling us a story at the end of last year when you went and watched Kyle Drabek's last couple of starts in AAA. Tell us about them.
Yeah, I know the line was not good, but I was so encouraged. One, Kyle's got a great curveball, as we've all seen, but he could never throw it for a strike. He'd always bury it in the dirt, and you guys know when you can steal a strike and throw that curveball for a strike early in the count, it'll change things. So Kyle did it. He worked with Tom Signor down there. He started doing it. He started commanding the ball a lot more, and then the changes he continued to make in spring training have been really exciting to see.
Alex, early on we have seen the defense much improved. Last night it was terrific through the entire ball game against Boston. Was that one of your goals this offseason, was to tighten up the defense overall?
There's no question. Our defense last year was not good, and that's probably being kind. And again, it's on me. I'm the one who brought the players in, so I did a bad job in that respect. But there's no question. It hurt our starters. It hurt the relievers. That was a big part of what went on there. So it's a lot better, and seeing the outfield defense being as improved as it is going to be huge.
Kyle Drabek strikes out David Ortiz, first out of the second inning.
How about this movement down and in and under the big bat of Ortiz? That's the thing that I'm impressed with, is how together he seems, just driving the ball towards the plate.
There's no question. Another thing we talked to him a lot about in the spring is he threw his four-seamer a lot, and it's got a lot of power to it. And getting that pitch there, curveball. I mean, that opens up the one he could throw in the dirt for him. But and I would joke with him during the spring, just two-seamer, curveball, changeup. Every time before a game, I'd stare at him and I'd point at him, and it's just he'd talk back to me and he'd go, two-seamer, curveball, changeup. I said, great. Instead of the cutter and four-seamer, and this two-seamer's got as much velocity as a four-seamer, and it allows him to keep the ball down, and he gets a ton of ground balls. So he's not there yet all the way, but he's starting to get there slowly.
One real strength of your minor league system is the depth of that starting pitching staff all the way through your minor leagues. Talk first about the Double-A staff, because that's where the cream of the crop in the prospects starts out this season. Well, there's a drive over Bautista's head off the bat of Kevin Youkilis. The throw to second base is off the mark and late. Youkilis has a one-out double.
There's no question we've got some depth in New Hampshire with some of those starters there, and it was a very good club last year from a position player standpoint. Now with the guys in the rotation, it's very deep. So that's where the depth is going to come from, and you'd love to have more experience, but we've elected to go with the talent and let those guys develop up here at times, and hopefully they all turn out like a guy like Alvarez did last year, even though it was 10 starts, looked very good for us. Whoever we do call up from there, hopefully can keep it going, but the guys that throw strikes will normally be able to survive here.
In the philosophy in the minor leagues, as you bring players along, has that changed over the last few years, that you are really emphasizing on making sure that they earn it when they jump that next stop?
Sure. I mean, ideally you want to do it that way. You don't want to have guys come up here too soon. You could easily argue that Alvarez could have stayed down a little bit longer, could have worked on his slider. We could have had him break camp with us. And last year there was definitely another element of development that could have occurred, but there was enough there that he can come up and help the team win and still not impact his long-term growth. So from that standpoint, we certainly want guys to earn it. I think our track is to go slow rather than quick. But once they get to New Hampshire, and if they start to perform, then the needs of the big league teams start to matter, unless we feel like they'll be retarded in terms of their growth and their development if we bring them up too soon.
Alex, who caught your eye from a pitching standpoint in spring training?
I'd say Crawford was someone that I'd heard a lot about. If you ever asked Anthony Gose, he'd say that's the best arm that we have in the whole organization, and that's saying a lot. He hasn't seen some of the other guys, and that's not taking anything away from Crawford, but he was even better than I thought. I was very impressed and very excited by him. I didn't know he had a slider the way he did. His curveball's outstanding. He just pitched last night. He was up to 94. He doesn't sit there. But this is a guy I think has a chance to be a long-term piece for us and a real impact guy.
How about the younger players down at Lansing with Nicolino, Sanchez, and Syndergaard?
Yeah, they all look really good. Sanchez hit 98 last night, which is incredible. Nicolino, no-hit innings last night. I mean, that group is Andrew Tinish and his staff for one draft in 2010. Wow. I can't give those guys enough credit, but it looks like they may have gotten us, it's still early, 3 real high-ceiling impact guys.
And they're just babies, too.
Yeah, they're really young. And, you know, you see them do that well, and you want to try to get them up here sooner, but we're going to take our time with them.
Well, you see, last night down at Lansing in the Midwest League, Nicolino and Sanchez, they combined to throw 6 innings, allowed 1 hit, and how about 9 strikeouts? That's a pretty impressive start.
No, it is. And sometimes at the lower levels you can get some strikeouts, but these guys have stuff, and that's the exciting part about it. Their stuff is outstanding. And considering how young they are, 19, and they're great kids, they work hard. I mean, I was talking about being able to check off each box, and again, assuming health, these guys have a chance to be really good impact guys for us.
How about the position players at Dunedin in the Florida State League? You've got a couple of Canadians, Michael Krause and Marcus Connect, and then Jake Marisnik. Those 3 players moved up together from the Midwest League.
No, they're all very talented guys, good athletes. Again, I mean, they're guys that we're really high on. I think they've got a chance to be very high-ceiling guys, and especially you get to the Florida State League, you can end the year in New Hampshire. You know, all those guys can be in camp with us next year, and they're right there. And they could move fast enough that they're only a year away. So hopefully they can keep it going, but they're guys that had great years last year, and for them to stay together with all their tools are exciting for us.
As you went into the offseason last year, I'm sure you had a checklist of things that you wanted to accomplish. This team, there's been at least a 50% turnover from last opening day to this opening day. Did you accomplish everything you wanted to do?
There's no question you always would like to add a front of the rotation starter. All 29 other clubs are saying the same thing, no matter who you are. You can always add a 1 or a 2. There's always room. And you can always add a middle of the order bat, no matter how good your offense is. So, I mean, I could say that going into every offseason. Those are things I want to add, but I don't want to do that all the time. But, you know, the biggest thing for us is obviously the rotation is young. It's inexperienced. It's got stuff. But, you know, it needs to start to come together. So that's the one area that we had chances to get some starters. Some were lower-end guys. The higher-end guys, the price was just too high, and we would have had to pull away from some of our starters up here. So from that standpoint, you know, we'll still be active in trades and see if we have a chance to get a player or 2.
Game 3 starter Joe Carreño was sent back after his start Sunday. As we speak, there are only 4 starters available. Do you have a plan for that 5th spot when it comes up on the 21st?
We have some ideas. We've talked about it. We're going to watch the next few starts on some of the guys down there, but we do have guys that we always have a strong eye on for that start. But again, it's going to vary on how these guys do in the next 10 days or so.
3-2 count. There are runners at first and second here in the top of the second.
You worried at all about the hitting? I know it's early
sure.
and everything. What do you see?
You know what? I think there's a few things. One, we're grinding at bats. Obviously, we haven't necessarily gotten some key hits. It's too early, and I know we could say that about anything if you're not doing as well as you hope. But, you know, from our standpoint, we've had fairly good at-bats, and, you know, it could turn so fast. You can go on a binge and go on a run. I thought Felix Dubront last night had really good stuff. And it's not to take anything away from the Indians guys, because I thought they did well. Also, we definitely did a good job against their pen. But, no, I'm not overly concerned right now. There's obviously some things you look at and you observe, but if it goes on for a few weeks, then I might have a few more concerns. But I think it's still too early, only a weekend.
Cody Ross with a full count. Fouls it back. Sergio Santos obviously had a better idea of what he wanted his home debut to look like last night. What are your impressions of Santos so far?
You know what? It's like he had a bad game last night. He'd tell you that immediately. I think the one game against the Indians, and again, it's not trying to make excuses for him, I thought he threw well. He obviously gave up the one home run that was up, and it was a ball. That Cabrera was a great hitter, hit the ball out, but apart from that, I thought he looked very sharp. It's going to happen when you close games. Brandon League, who obviously we traded away here, I remember last year, he blew 4 games in a row. 4 saves in a row. Everyone's talking about he's got to get bumped from the roll, this and that. Ended up doing well, and he made the All-Star team. So I'm not to say that Serge is going to blow 4 games in a row, but we know how fast it changes. Guys start off slow, guys do well. He's got great stuff. I'll go to war with that stuff any day.
Do you have a time frame of a barometer of your read on this ball club? Is there a game point out there where you say, okay, after 60 games, I think we'll have a pretty good read on our club?
Yeah, you know what? I've heard all kinds of theories. Some people say, you take the first 2 months to see what you have, the next 2 months trying to acquire what you need, and then the last 2 months just sit back and watch. But I don't necessarily have a date in mind. I try to be early rather than late if you can be. Just from from a trade standpoint and so on. If you think someone's not going to turn it around and somebody else says, well, it's still early, okay, then, you got to be right, though, because there's times you could certainly cut bait on a player too early. So it's a balancing act. You try to be select. To me, it's even, I know people talked about Colby Erasmus early. I thought the Indian series, he had great at-bats. I thought he had great swings, hard contact. I wasn't worried. And I know people were. If it was bad swings, bad mechanics, I thought it looked good. So I wasn't worried there from that standpoint. His swing is so much better than it was last year with the leg lift, his approach. And I thought he hit some balls really, really hard. So those are some of the things you try to take all the information and try to make as good a call as you can.
2-0 to the catcher, Jared Saltalamacchia. There's a strike. Colby Erasmus has the ability to help the ball club with his glove, as we've seen already, a couple of fine defensive plays, and that's another aspect of tightening up this defense. This ball club, to me, because there's so many guys that have come through the organization, seems to be a very close team. Is that your impression?
No doubt. And it's not like I've been in the game that long, but I guess it's been probably 10 years now of just being around clubhouses and players. This is as good a group of guys as I've been around. And I'm not saying that's going to win you a World Series or playoffs. You can't have 25 choir boys. But in terms of the way these guys pull for each other, and they're all about team. And a great example is Santos blows the save against the Indians. Rather than mope in the locker like you'd expect, he's sitting there high-fiving guys excited about the win.
Strike 3 call. What a job by Kyle Drabek. Alex, thanks for your time. You were a good luck charm for Kyle Drabek. He got out of the jam. Thank you. Right. Kyle Drabek strands a pair, comes back and makes a big pitch to Saltalamacchia. Ball club. They work hard, but they also have fun while they're working.
Yeah, and they like each other. They like being around each other. You've got so much time to kill when you're a baseball player. This afternoon, they are out playing some of the games that they do, and they just enjoy being around each other, and that's what team chemistry is all about. Pulling for each other, being there for your teammate.
How about the effort by Kyle Drabek after the leadoff strikeout of Ortiz? He gave up a double and a walk and then punched out Cody Ross and Jared Saltalamacchia to leave 2.
The two-seamer that Alex Anthopoulos was telling us really came into play on that last pitch to Saltalamacchia.
A totally different mindset from Kyle Drabek. He is in control of himself, and he looks great. I talked to him after he threw a side session in Cleveland the other day, and I said, "How you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm still doing the same drill. I just don't have the ropes anymore." But he buys into it. Dane Johnson worked with him early on. Dane Johnson is a roving pitching instructor in the minors, and boy, he had some great suggestions for Drabek. He worked along with Bruce Walton.
You know, it's a great drill. We've seen different variations of that over the years. You see people, or excuse me, pitchers mark off spots right in front of the pitching rubber. You see them drawing lines in the dirt just to make sure that they have their momentum going towards home plate.
Eric Thames hits it sharply, but a good play by Nick Punto, and Thames is retired.
But to have that visual every time you step and throw a baseball off the mound, it can only help you. And then it's all about muscle memory. You do it enough, and all of a sudden becomes second nature.
Well, and you have to allow yourself enough time where it does become second nature. Drabek came up at the end of the 2010 season and then started here last year. Made 14 starts. Aaron Sebia fouls it off the mask of Saltalamacchia, and I got the umpire as well. 2 for 1. And hit Saltalamacchia and knocked his mask off, and then catches Tim McClellan on the shoulder. So Saltalamacchia is out to talk to his pitcher just to help the umpire regroup a little bit. It's a common courtesy between catchers and umps.
And the crew chief, Tim McClellan, was walking around.
And right now he's thinking, I could have been a professor or something. Anything other than an umpire. Boy, he took a beating. And Tim's been around a long time. Always a good umpire. He's been a crew chief for quite a while. And right there, he took a pretty good shot off his right collarbone. J.P. Sebia, the catcher, still trying to get things going. I think you're right when you look at the Blue Jays lineup. And we mentioned coming into this game hitting 190 as a team. Everybody's just a little bit anxious, trying to get things going at the plate.
Everybody hit the ball so well in the spring, and that built that great one-loss record in spring training. To carry that right into the big leagues when the lights come on and the pitchers are really throwing for the numbers on the back of their baseball card, it's a different game when the season starts.
Hard strikes out Aaron Sebia. That's the second strikeout for Daniel Bard.
The Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware and building center location. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Center fielder Colby Rasmus goes after the first pitch, hits it on the ground. Gonzalez goes to the bag, and the Blue Jays go quietly in the second. To complete here at Rogers Center. Kyle Drabek has held the Red Sox just one hit. Tuesday. Stay up to date with all the latest Blue Jays news and information by following the club on Twitter @BlueJays. The Blue Jays now have over 100,000 followers on Twitter. Submit your questions during tonight's game to @BlueJays, and your questions may be selected as our Twitter fan question of the night. Blue Jays are big fans of Twitter. Ball players are on Twitter all the time, and they have a lot of followers. Ricky Romero, Brett Laurie, J.P. Arencibia, they're all big fans of the social media. And tonight is Twitter Tuesday here at Rogers Center. Top of the third inning, Kyle Drabek pitched out of a jam in the last inning. Gave up a one-out double to Kevin Youkilis to right, and then walked Ryan Sweeney, but got back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. Nick Punto, a switch hitter, picks a pitch down and in. It's 2-0.
You know what the most impressive part of that last half inning was for Kyle Drabek? Well, I don't think it was the 3 strikeouts. That was impressive enough. But it was the way he handled himself after he gave up the double and the walk. Last year, you would have seen him staring around up into the air, almost like the deer in the headlights type of look. Look at the game face that he has right now. He's under control, his emotions, he's got a game plan, he has an idea, and he's staying right with it. That's the maturation of a big league pitcher. Now you match that with the kind of stuff that he brings to the mound, and you might have something special.
The Phillies thought he was something special out of high school. This is popped up, slicing toward foul territory, and it'll drop safely. Kyle Drabek was drafted in the first round by the Phillies in 2006. 18th pick overall. And then he came to the Blue Jays along with Michael Taylor and Travis d'Ormeau in exchange for Roy Halladay. And with that came a lot of hype. Everybody expected that Drabek would turn into a Halladay-like pitcher overnight. That doesn't happen. Didn't even happen with Halladay.
And you know what, Buck? He got to Double-A and had success in Double-A. That was in 2010. He went 14-9, an ERA under 3. But he still wasn't a finished product in my mind. You know, there was still part of his game that just wasn't finished.
This ball is popped up a mile high. Kobe Rasmus, the center fielder, will make the catch.
He made the team out of spring training last year and won his first big league game. But you could watch him on the mound and see that the polish just wasn't there. It was all new to him. And one other thing, it was the first time that he had experienced trouble. I mean, he had dominated everywhere he had gone throughout his life, but he just didn't know, it didn't seem like he knew how to handle it. Wow.
Tim McClellan's not having much fun tonight. He got hit by a foul tip last half inning, and here looked like Arencibia just had a whiff, hit him right on the same spot.
That looked like a cut fastball. But to finish that thought on Kyle Drabek, he goes down to Triple-A and he starts working on his game, keeping his emotions in check and finishing off his stuff.
Ellsbury, big hopper to the second baseman. Kelly Johnson throws him out, 2 outs. The Blue Jays talk about stuff in the rotation. I'll take stuff anytime over experience. And you take a look at the average age of the rotations in the big leagues. The Blue Jays are second to the Atlanta Braves.
And you're right. I'll take my chances with young pitchers who have stuff anytime, because you never know when that light is going to go on. We've seen it with Ricky Romero. We've seen it with Brandon Morrow in our judgment. Henderson Alvarez and now Kyle Drabek. You could have 4 young pitchers, second youngest average age in big leagues, with outstanding stuff.
It's worked for Atlanta over the years. Give the young homegrown pitchers the opportunities. Pedroia hits it sharply, but right up to shortstop. Good bounce back inning for Kyle Drabek. A 1-2-3 third. He was having a tough time tracking Drabek's pitches down.
Watch JP when he receives some of these two-seam fastballs. He flinches just a little bit, and I think that talks about how good Kyle Drabek's two-seam fastball is when a catcher knows it's coming and still has trouble catching it. Nasty.
Late, explosive movement, something Aaron Seavey hasn't seen from Drabek yet. He's caught him a lot this spring. The growth continues for a young pitcher. Escobar singled and scored the only run of the ballgame. That came in the first. Edwin Encarnacion drove him home. Good slider from Bard. A ball on the string. Daniel Bard, one of the 5 starters in the Boston rotation. 4 of the 5 starters came through the Red Sox minor league system. The appeal down to first base umpire Ted Barrett is denied, but that's a real good thing for an organization to grow your own starters. The only pitcher that was from another organization is Josh Beckett, the big right-hander. Escobar pops it foul, and that'll reach the seats.
I think Daniel Bard's going to be just fine transitioning. He's got the body. You can see the long, lean frame with the long arm. His windup is very smooth, and his mechanics are very effortless. The only problem that for this year, I think, as you transition from the bullpen to the starting rotation, how many innings are they going to let him go? Threw about 70 innings last year.
Escobar fights it off and flares it into center field. He's 2 for 2 and happy about it.
The all-new 2012 Honda CR-V. Yeah, it does that. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Leadoff man on board for a second time tonight. Escobar's been on twice. Kelly Johnson popped to short his first time up. Blue Jays now with 4 hits. Everybody's getting a second look at Bard this time through the order. When you face Bard working out of the bullpen, you're pretty much going to get something 97 and up. He comes right at you. And a hard slider as well. Now he's developed a changeup, and he's also backed off his breaking ball and his fastball a bit.
Yeah, when he needs a strikeout, when he needs to reach back, there's still a little bit more in his tank. He throws hard, but he has talked in spring training about pacing himself, developing that third pitch. When you've got one inning,
yeah,
max effort, here it is, let's see what you can do with it. And you can basically get by with a fastball and throw that good breaking ball. But to navigate through 6, 7, 8 innings, it takes a little bit more than that.
It takes an awful lot to be a successful starting pitcher in the big leagues. You have to worry about base runners. You have to field your position. You have to be able to basically pitch 3 different games within the game. To go through the lineup a minimum of 3 times and give the hitters different looks. Johnson pulls it past Pedroia into right. Sweeney comes up and holds Escobar at second. Kelly Johnson with his first hit of the night.
Escobar
have something going in the third.
Escobar had an idea of possibly going first to third, but the ball was hit so hard, and Sweeney did a good job of charging and getting to this ball quickly. Comes up throwing again. Escobar, he came out of the chute thinking first to third. Takes one quick look over his shoulder, but then realizes you've got the meat of the order coming up. I don't want to get thrown out over at third.
Sweeney's got a good arm. He had 11 assists with the A's back in 2009 when he played nearly every day. The table is set for Jose Bautista. First and second, nobody out. Bautista starting to zero in on Bard. Bautista still hitless against the Red Sox right-hander. Two out. Tough spot for Bard. Great fastball hitter in a fastball count.
And you know, he's got to challenge him. This is where he could reach back for a little something extra.
Lynn on deck. He doubled his first time up. I don't think Bard was concerned about Escobar at second as much as he's concerned about Bautista at home. Three and 0. Green light.
Yes. One swing can give you 3 runs. Why not? One swing can give a pretty good hitter some confidence.
You need to get Bautista going. Let him swing away. 3 and 0. Nobody out, first and second. He got the green light, got a fastball, and pops it back over the screen.
You know, he's got such a good eye. You know, he's got an idea of what pitchers are trying to do to him. I think any 3-0 count, you give Jose Bautista the green light.
Bautista batting with the bases loaded on Sunday afternoon. Got a good pitch from Chris Perez and popped up to the shortstop to end the game. It won't be long before he catches up.
Yeah, he said that ball was down and his timing is off just a little bit.
3 and 1. He tossed the ball bat aside, and Tim McClellan with the late strike call.
I don't think Jose does that on purpose. We talked about it in the first inning. Tim McClellan is very deliberate behind the plate. You've got to wait. Bautista thinks it's below his knees.
You can see him take a couple of steps and toss the bat aside. It's a full count, nobody out. Cut on and missed all the way back from a 3-0 count. Bard strikes him out.
That's what they like about Daniel Bard. When he finds himself in trouble, he can reach back. This one, 97 miles an hour, actually tipped by Bautista. But it looked like a good pitch to hit. About belt high.
Bautista thought the pitch was down, and it was the first strike of the at-bat. Bard took advantage. Adam Lynn with one out. First pitch breaking ball for a strike. Lynn hit an opposite field double just inside the bag at third. And then Edwin Encarnacion came up with a infield 2-out single to drive home the only run of this game. Good cut, foul back. Lynn, by his own admission, has said time and time again all spring long, the cleanup spot behind Jose Bautista is really important. And he knows he needs to do his job. Got off to a great start a year ago. In fact, led the Blue Jays in the month of May with 22 RBI.
And Bautista was the American League Player of the Month in April. But it was Lynn who led him in the RBIs. That's how important that fourth slot is.
Base it up the middle with 2 strikes. Escobar around third, he'll score, and Lynn delivers. Another great 2-strike approach. 2-0 Jays.
Well, just like Dustin Pedroia is a very good high ball, fastball hitter, I think Adam Lynn, you can say the same thing about him. Shortens it up a little bit. Bard tries to go upstairs, but he doesn't get it up high enough. Ball's lined into center field, and Escobar reads it and scores without a throw at the plate. 6 hits now for the Blue Jays in 2 1/3 innings. And that's a big RBI right there for Lynn, his second of the season.
Bob McClure in his first year as the pitching coach here with the Red Sox. Out to talk to Slovakia and to Daniel Bard. More than anything, just an opportunity to help Bard regroup. Still just 1 out. Bard's thrown 17 pitches this inning, 46 in the ball game. His first big league start. He hasn't started since his first year in the minor leagues.
2007 when he was an A-baller. 22 starts that year.
Edwin Encarnacion.
He might have gone out there to talk to him also about that 2-strike pitch to Adam Lynn. It just wasn't a good enough pitch. Threw a couple of breaking balls to him to get ahead 0-2, and then a fastball that caught way too much of the plate.
Now the play is stopped right now as the security is trying to remove a fan from the field. And we're not going to show you that, of course.
Well, there was some problems in last night's game with fans and debris being thrown out on the field, and Bobby Valentine was upset because it was his pitcher who was standing out there on the mound. And Daniel Bard is doing the same thing. There's Valentine. He's thinking about his starting pitcher. He might tell him to start throwing a little bit to stay in his groove.
Well, a reminder, it's Tweeting Tuesday, and now here's the question of the game. At What's Up, Abe asked, which Blue Jay player do you think will break out in 2012 and be the biggest surprise of the season?
Well, you know, when you talk about players breaking out, they've got to have talent, and they've got to have I guess, a disappointing season from a year ago. So I think the first guy who comes to mind, maybe a Brandon Morrow or a Kyle Drabek, guys who've got exceptional talent, who are going to take it to the next level. I don't think Jose Bautista's going to break out. He's already done that.
Man, if he breaks out, maybe hits 80 home runs.
That's ridiculous. So
I'm going to take my breakout guy this season to be Eric Thames. I think he's going to hit 25 home runs. John Farrell has put him in left field every day. He's going to be a guy that's going to get plenty of opportunities to deliver. Playing with a lot of confidence, and he's a very aware ball player. Went into the offseason trying to improve his defense, and he's improved his arm strength for sure.
He was talking in the offseason that he wants to make an all-star team. I mean, when you talk about determination and thinking big, I think that's the only way you have to play this game. And Eric certainly has that. He's got loads of talent.
And so we're back to action. Kelly Johnson's at second. Lynn's at first. Encarnacion with a 1-ball, no strike count. 2-0. Blue Jays have scored a run here in the bottom of the third. It's 2-0. Six hits now for the Jays. Good swing and a miss by Encarnacion. Blue Jays had 5 hits in their 4-2 loss last night. They need to get the bats rolling a bit.
Yeah, still looking for that big hit where you get a hit and you drive in multiple runs. Encarnacion certainly can deliver that.
Off the plate outside with the breaking ball. Left-hander Justin Thomas starting to loosen up. In his Major League debut, his Red Sox debut, excuse me, on Saturday at Detroit. 3 balls and a strike. Looped into center. Ellsbury will get there and make the catch. Encarnacion is retired. So that'll bring Brett Lawrie to the plate with 2 on and 2 outs.
Got a steady diet of breaking balls last time from Daniel Bard. See if Bard stays with it.
2 outs here, and the Blue Jays up 2-0. After this half inning, John Farrell will join us from the dugout. We're going to see that sign more than once this year. Lawrie takes a first pitch strike. Brett struck out his first time up. That ended the first inning. Bard got the breaking ball away from him, and Lawrie went after it. Bouncing ball toward right. That's a base hit. Kelly Johnson is around. Cleared. Here's the throw to the plate. He is in there. Saltalamacchia blocked Johnson at the plate. And then he kicked his foot out from under. Lawrie picks up the base hit in the RBI. It's 3-0 Jays.
You know, and the throw was up the third base side for the catcher, Saltalamacchia. He does a good job of trying to block the plate. Sweeney's throw, you can see, is up the line just a little bit. Still blocks it, but Johnson kicks on through and touches the plate before Saltalamacchia can get to it. Does not give him a lane to slide clearly right into the plate, so he has to go through him.
Lawrie picks up the 4th hit of the inning. Eric Thames. Let's hit one downstairs. Chance to break the game wide open here. Fought off and fouled out of play. Mentioned Thames and his growth. He finished up as the everyday left fielder last year. Coming into spring training, there was a battle for the starting spot in left field. But all spring long, John Farrell always referred to Thames as the incumbent. and you've got to knock out the champ.
Yeah, and it's what he did last year for this ball club when he came up. He came up with some big hits last year. 12 home runs. Showed that he's going to be a very good major league hitter. And that meant a lot to John Farrell.
At 24 doubles and 5 triples. John Farrell interview coming up live when we come back after this inning. 1-2. Fooled and went around too far. Dame strikeout. That's 4 strikeouts for Bard, but the Blue Jays scored 3 runs on 4 hits. Drabek so far tonight.
You know, Buck, like we saw in spring training, he's maintained his direction through the strike zone. He's had good action to his secondary pitches as well as the two-seamer. And I think more than anything, you know, he pitched out of some traffic there in the second inning, and I think that's the sign of or evidence of the emotional control that he demonstrated in spring training.
We caught J. Pierre and Sebia kind of flinching on some of those two-seam fastballs. What have they been talking about in that dugout about that pitch?
Well, there's such late life to it and late action that, you know, the two-seamer that came back on the inside corner to Saltalamacchia was an example of that. And you know, right now the ball's darting a little bit on his four-seam. It's cutting back or sinking late in the strike zone on the two-seam, and I think that's just a signal how live this stuff is tonight.
John, how important is it for your starters to sink the ball in this ballpark?
Well, this is pretty notorious a good hitter's ballpark, and I think the more we can get our guys to put the ball on the ground, we're confident in our infield defense. And anytime you get a chance to get 2 outs with 1 pitch, it's always a plus.
John, thanks for your time.
Okay, guys.
And the Blue Jays right now certainly have a nice group of sinker ball pitchers in their rotation.
They're building a young staff. Drabek and Alvarez last night. Brandon Morrow sinking the ball just a little bit more. And, of course, Ricky Romero. A young staff of throwers who don't just blow it by you. They keep it in the strike zone. They've got good movement. And John said our infield can make the plays. That's the key.
We have seen that already in this young season. Some very good double plays, including the double play they turned last night in the second inning off the bat of Cody Ross, a 6-4-3 double play that was beautiful. The shift. Lowry from center field. Long throw. Throws him out. Boy, you move Brett Lowry around the diamond and you trust his arm strength, and right there it paid off. That was a long throw.
That's why the Blue Jays have him stationed right behind the pitcher. Right behind the pitcher's backside there. He's going to cover the dirt area of the mound from side to side. And the reason they have him for that ball right there, ball that's at the third base side behind the bag, they feel like his arm's a little bit stronger than Kelly Johnson's, and Lowry makes the play.
A different version of the shift for David Ortiz. Lowry ventures over into right field.
First time against Gonzalez, who was behind the bag at second base. Now he is out by Jose Bautista in right field.
Ortiz struck out his first time up. Chases a high fastball. Well, there's a lot of life on both fastballs tonight for Drabek.
He'll use his four-seam fastball, but that two-seamer, again, John Farrell says that two-seamer has just calmed him down. taking away that cutter for the most part. He'll still throw that cut fastball at times.
Well, that's a pretty good pitch. Adam Lind hugging that first base line. Laurie's got anything to Lynn's right. From shallow right. Or medium right, if you will. 2-2 to David Ortiz.
No need to overthrow right here. You know, just stay like John Farrell says, stay in your lanes and keep driving towards home plate. Sometimes easier is better.
Changeup missed downstairs.
He was telling me a story in spring training where Drabek threw two very nice pitches and then tried to blow it by him and throw a cutter, and he seemed to come out of his windup a little bit. And it took him 2 or 3 hitters to get back into that nice, easy flow from the mound.
This one is popped into left field. Thames is there and makes the catch. 2 outs. That's 7 straight retired by Kyle Drabek. Drabek made 2 starts a year ago against Boston. Pitched a total of 9 innings. The Red Sox had 15 hits and hit 5 home runs. Drabek also walked 9. Different story tonight.
Different pitcher. Fastball was very straight last year. You heard Alex Anthopoulos talk about his 4-seam fastball, that it's still part of what he throws, but he doesn't need to throw it all the time.
Euclid gets jammed. Easy grounder to short. 1-2-3 inning for Drabek in the 4th. Just 1 hit for Boston. Blue Jays up 3-0. We care. In bio tonight is about Kyle Drabek. He's 24 years old. He was born in Victoria, Texas. He now lives in the Woodlands. And his father was Doug Drabek, who was the National League Cy Young Award winner. And Doug was a different type of pitcher. He didn't have the kind of fastball that Kyle has. He had a much better breaking ball. And this winter, Doug talked to Kyle about his disappointing season a year ago, and he said, hey, put it behind you, but learn from it. Understand what caused you so many problems, and he's made some nice adjustments. Quite an athlete as a kid, obviously, and always the best athlete on most of his teams. And, well, you get to the big leagues, and everybody on the field can say that.
We were talking about, you're right, we were talking about he had never experienced failure on the baseball diamond. You know what his high school record was as a pitcher? 30-1. In high school.
He lost a game.
But it took him 4 years. He also hit 27 home runs while he was a high schooler.
Yeah, this is a terrific athlete. He was around the Astros when his father pitched in Houston, and he grew up in the locker room with the likes of Craig Biggio and Jeff Bagwell. He's been around the ballpark his whole life. Aaron Sevia gets jammed on an inside breaking ball. Euclid throws him out. That's the first out of the fourth. Daniel Bard is making his first big league start. He was an integral part of their bullpen. His first start comes after 192 appearances out of the pen.
34 holds last year for Daniel Bard, the most for the Sox since that stat was started in 1969. He was also their minor league pitcher of the year in 2008.
Bobby Rasmus grounded to first to end the second inning. Is only at bat of the ninth. And breaking ball. Be interesting to see. You mentioned this earlier, Pat, just how many innings, if Bard stays in the rotation, they will allow him to pitch. He threw 73 innings in the bullpen last year, 74 2/3 in relief in 2010. Rasmus drives this one to left, but it's going to hang up for Cody Ross. 2 outs.
The all-new 2012 Honda CR-V. Yeah, it does that. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
So if you double his innings from last year, Buck, he is now up to roughly 150 innings. Is that enough?
I think they'd be thrilled if he could pitch 150 innings. Remember, they've got Daisuke Matsuzaka coming back from Tommy John surgery, and by all reports it sounds like they might get him back before the All-Star break, if not just shortly after. Yunel Escobar falls behind 0-2.
I think Daniel Bard can do whatever he wants. There's been talk of maybe moving him back into the bullpen and closing with Andrew Bailey on the disabled list, but they want to see what he can do. They made a commitment in the offseason to stretch him out in spring training and see if he can do this.
Strike 3 count. He has a bounce back inning, a 1-2-3 fourth inning. We've played 4 complete. Blue Jays lead it 3-0. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn at the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. On 1 hit tonight. Take a look at his last start a year ago, June 12th, against the Red Sox. 4 innings, 7 hits, 8 earned runs. He walked 3 and struck out 4. Different story for Drabek against Boston tonight.
He threw around 100 pitches in that game, too. At times, again, he looked very shell-shocked, didn't know where to go to get outs. And I think this year it's a different story because he's got a foundation, and that foundation is that two-seam fastball.
Jumps ahead of Ryan Sweeney with a first pitch strike. Cutter missed inside. You and I saw him pitch against the Yankees on March 29th. It was a night game at Steinbrenner Field in spring training. He overpowered the Yankees and pitched out of a couple of tough jams. Here's the 1-1. How much do you think that game fueled Drabek's confidence that this plan was working for him?
Well, I think it validated everything that he had been working on through the winter in preparation for the season, and all the work that he did in spring training. In that game against the Yankees, I remember distinctly a runner at second base and Robinson Cano up, and he made him look silly. I mean, he simply overpowered him, like you said.
Overpowered Sweeney right there. All I could do was spoil a good pitch. Drabek threw a pitch to Cano earlier in that game. On a first pitch, Cano got jammed so bad it took him about 5 minutes to get back in the batter's box. He had a fistful of bees. 2-2. Upstairs, full count.
He also threw a couple of knee buckling curveballs to Raul Ibanez in that game. Mark Teixeira got jammed a couple of times. And I think that start right there that Drabek had, that solidified him making this team.
Bouncing ball. Drabek missed it, but there's Kelly Johnson in time to help him out. Now Drabek swiped at it and almost looked as if he expected to catch it. But Drabek got helped out by Kelly Johnson.
Talked about what a good athlete Kyle Drabek is. Just whiffed on it. I don't know if he slowed it down or ricocheted over to Johnson. But it's a put out over at first base.
9 straight retired now by Drabek. Cody Ross. First pitch strike. Boy, that's a formula for anybody. I don't care if you're throwing 93 or 63. First pitch strike. Puts the pitcher out in front. Puts the hitter in a hole. And strike 2. Pretty good too. 0-2. Pretty good crowd on hand tonight. Last night on opening night, 48,743. Ross drives this one toward the gap in left. It bounces off the wall. Rasmus fields it on a bounce, and Cody Ross has a 1-out double. The ball was up a bit. Drabek just came right after him. 0-2.
I think both J.P. Arencibia and Kyle Drabek were thinking that Cody Ross was looking for a breaking ball. He took a strike 2 fastball right down the middle. It looked like they tried to slip another one by him with 2 strikes, but in defensive mode, Ross was waiting for him.
That snaps a string of 9 straight retired by Drabek. I have no problem with an 0-2 fastball. That's when the hitter is most vulnerable. Ross was able to get good wood on it. There, Saltalamacchia has struck out in his only at bat. He hits this ball hard, but right at Bautista. Ross can't do anything but go back to the bag. Well, there's nothing like a 1-pitch out.
Take a little something off, just like he did. It looked like a changeup that was up. And Saltalamacchia put some top spin on the ball and kept it in the ballpark.
Number 9 batter is Nick Punto, 34-year-old. Pitzel started shortstop tonight. Upstairs. I think Drabek reminding himself after that high pitch, he just talked about rotating a little bit too much. I saw the rope process begin in late February at Bobby Maddox Minor League Complex. Right back with a strike. Drabek was throwing a lot of. He called him for a ball. He went to his mouth right there. Looked like McCullough sees there's a fan in the hitter's eye in center field and the batter's eye, and he wants him removed.
Okay. Let's go.
Go back to your seat. I wasn't quite sure what McCullough was indicating when he came out from behind the plate. I thought Drabek had gone to his mouth and he had called the ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner is second. Blue Jays up 3-0. Bunts it foul out of play. But that process that began, a lot of the pitchers, even some position players, reported early, even before the mandatory reporting date, and Drabek began this process, throwing with those yellow ropes to remind him of his alignment and how he needs to drive toward home plate.
Look where his back foot is and look where his front foot is. On the line, and his front toe is pointing to his position. His arm is in an L shape, what you want. That is picture-perfect mechanics right there.
1-2. Popped in the air. Shortstop Yunel Escobar calls for it. Puntos retired. Drabek's on a roll. Kelly Johnson will start things off. Jose Bautista. Adam Lind is 2 for 2 so far. Drabek and J.B. Arencibia have been conversing all night long. Once they finish their work on the field, they continue to do some work in the dugout.
Talk about hitters, talk about this pitch and this situation. Maybe next time, if we're in the same situation, we'll try something different. They might be talking about that two-seamer also, how much it's moving.
Well, I can't tell you how much Kyle Drabek looks so much different. Looks like he's having a good time tonight. Kelly Johnson singled and scored in the third. He scored the Blue Jays' third run of the ball game. Change up. Daniel Bard done a nice job here tonight. Been kind of a roller coaster. He threw 20 pitches in the first, 9 in the second, 28 in the third, and 9 in the fourth. There's no doubt about the quality of his pitches. He's got a pretty good assortment of pitches. Obviously, the Red Sox know him very well, and that's why they gave him an opportunity to start.
That fluid windup that he has, and all of a sudden the ball's on top of you. It's got to be very deceptive.
It's that flat slider. It stayed a little bit flat along the plane of the bat, and Johnson was able to foul it up.
Didn't he pitch out of the stretch when he came out of the bullpen all the time?
I believe he did. It's another adjustment he's made in the transition to a starting pitcher.
Go into a windup.
I tell you what, Kelly Johnson is having good at bats. He got a breaking ball inside that he hooked foul down the first base foul line, and then just poked that changeup out of play down the third base side.
Very patient at the plate, putting together these good at bats.
Oh, what a nice play by Pedroia. Just takes a hit away from his counterpart, Kelly Johnson.
Well, it looked like it might have been by Pedroia. The ball's hit so hard with topspin by Kelly Johnson. And Pedroia snags it out of the air for the first out. Watch him position himself perfectly, get a good jump on the ball, and take a hit away from Kelly.
Jose Bautista 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout. Ball inside to Bautista. He just barely got out of the way, had the jackknife to get out of the way of that inside fastball. Breaking ball.
Hard tried that in spring training, if you remember. Come inside against Bautista, hit him on the hands. He knows that he's got to get that fastball inside to Jose, and then go soft away if he needs to.
Jose chased a bad pitch, and he knows it. A little bit fired up after that inside fastball.
High heat, but a little giddy up at the end.
2 balls and a strike, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th. Changeup bounced off the catcher Saltalamacchia. Bard's longest outing out of the bullpen as a relief pitcher was 2 1/3. He's working here in the 5th. He has thrown 77 pitches. Wow. That breaking ball, according to Tim McClellan, caught the inside corner. Bautista jumps back,
thinking that the ball went around the plate.
Full count. Bautista strikes out. Another off-speed pitch. 2 outs here in the 5th. It's time for an update. Here's Jamie Campbell. Orioles going into this game tonight 3-1. They've gotten great starting pitching. They got off to a 6-1 start a year ago, only to lose 93 games.
I remember that everybody was fired up about the Orioles and everything, but pitching faltered on them last year.
We're really anxious to see Brian Mattis make his first start, and it didn't go well for the young left-hander. Adam Lynn's had a good night at the plate. He's doubled and singled. He's also driven in a run.
He's got him right where he wants him here. 0-2. That's where Adam got a hit his last time up, that RBI single to center.
Back in the 3rd. 0-2. Oh, bounced that breaking ball. You can see Saltalamacchia call for the breaking ball and then emphasize that he wanted it in the dirt. Saltalamacchia will be the everyday catcher after the captain, Jason Varitek, has retired. Saltalamacchia caught 96 games a year ago. Lynn covered that outside fastball. 3-0 Blue Jays. Scored a single run in the first, added 2 more in the third. Bouncing ball, Punto to his left near second, throws out Lind. Another good inning for Daniel Barta. 1, 2, 3, 5th. 5 complete here at Rogers Center. Being selected tonight's Blackberry Tweeting Tuesday fan of the game. It's a great picture of David Harrison. Congratulations from Blackberry. Another great starting performance tonight. Last night it was Henderson Alvarez. Alvarez went 6 innings, held the Red Sox to 1 run on 4 hits. Drabek has shut out the Red Sox on just 2 hits.
He's had a good feel for his changeup tonight, Kyle Drabek. Good feel with that 2-seam fastball. Mixed in a couple of curves here and there.
Ellsbury, so far in this series, is 0 for 6.
What a year he had last year. Wow. 83 extra base hits from your leadoff batter.
First time the Blue Jays saw him a year ago, he was sitting down in the order.
8th
front.
8th at Fenway Park. Remember that?
Now, to give you an idea what kind of year he had 321. He had 212 hits. His teammate Alex Gonzalez and the Rangers' Michael Young led the majors with 213 hits. Ellsbury with 212. He also chipped in with 46 doubles, 5 triples, hit 32 homers, and drove in 105. Some season for Jacoby Ellsbury.
Since 2005, 5 teams have had 2 200 hitters on their team. Theirs was just the 5th.
200 hits in a season by teammates doesn't happen very often.
No. The 2009 Yankees, Cano and Jeter did it. The 2007 Tigers, Ordonez and Polanco. Soriano and Bernie Williams are the Yankees in 2002, and then Brett Boone and Ichiro in 2001. That's it.
He really had a turnaround season in the power department. His previous high in home runs for the Red Sox came in 2008 when he hit 9. Full count. Kyle Drabek working here in the 6th inning. 3rd time through the order. Leadoff walk to Ellsbury. So first walk issued by Drabek. The Blue Jays over their years have done a pretty good job of developing young pitching talent. The youngest average age for a Blue Jays rotation was 1979, 23.6. 82, they were 24. 2012, 25.3.
Big difference. Look at that. The other four, 78, 79, 81, 82, when they were just building their farm system and building and bringing their young players to the big leagues. And I think if the Blue Jays are going to take that next step in the standings, I think these young starters have got to take the next step.
When you develop your own starting pitching, you create a friendly competition, create a lot of camaraderie among the starters, and they grow together. Pedroia takes another pitch, and that'll bring the catcher out to the mound. Drabek walked Ellsbury to lead this inning. A leadoff walk here in the 6th, first walk of the ball game. Just another reminder, eh? Get back into your delivery, get back to the bottom of the zone.
Yeah, and in these situations last year, Kyle Drabek would try to power his way through it. So far this year, he has just massaged his way through it. Take a little something off, get back into your delivery, make a good pitch. What was John Farrell saying? 2 for the price of 1.
Pedroia drills this ball toward the gap in left center. That ball is off the wall. Rasmus plays it very well. They're going to stop Ellsbury at 3rd. Boy, Colby Rasmus saved a run for the time being. Ellsbury, who runs very well, was stopped by Jerry Royster at 3rd on Pedroia's double.
Ball was hit hard, and Ellsbury can run, and he reads that that ball is going to be in the gap. Another high fastball, and somehow Pedroia stays right on top of it and drives it to left field. Rasmus knows this ballpark, plays it perfectly on one bounce and gets it in very quickly. And you have to respect the arm of Escobar. You see Ellsbury play right in front of him. He's got to be held up by Royster, the third base coach.
Now, Ellsbury thought about scoring. He came toward 3rd with a full head of steam, and a good play by Rasmus keeps him from scoring. Royster has to be conservative considering where they are in their lineup. 3, 4, and 5 coming up next against Drabek. 83 pitches so far. Still has plenty in the tank. Blue Jays bullpen begins to stir. Right-hander Jason Frazier. 3-0 ball game. Adrian Gonzalez. Inside ball 1. Gonzalez has lined out and grounded to 3rd. A veteran lineup that can strike anywhere in the ball game.
You mentioned it, the 3rd time through the lineup. You might have to change things up there a little bit.
Two and 0. Literally at this point, Drabek just needs to think one pitch at a time. David Ortiz on deck. Changeup lifted to center field. Bautista is calling for it. Tagging at 3rd is Ellsbury. Here's the throw to 3rd. Oh, it hit Pedroia. Throw was right on the money. Bautista called for the ball knowing he had a good angle to throw the ball toward 3rd. Made a strong throw, but it hit Pedroia. Ellsbury scores. The Red Sox are on the board.
He's got a better angle. He's got a window to throw the ball, so he calls off the center fielder and uncorks a perfect throw. but it hit Ellsbury in the elbow. Good job by Laurie to deke him just a little bit, but it hits him in the elbow and he slides in safely.
Well, Bautista done a good job of taking charge. He had the better shot at throwing Pedroia out at third. 1 out. Another aspect of Rasmus, Thames, and Bautista playing together all spring long. Communication worked perfectly there. Two and 0. Kevin Youkilis is on deck. Infield is halfway. Upstairs. There's Youkilis. He doubled to right his first time up. Red Sox with 3 hits. That's a break. Check swing foul on 3-0.
Yeah, reaching back for a little something extra. The ball's up in the strike zone. Ortiz, probably just like Bautista, has got a great eye. That runner at third base and less than 2 outs, they're going to give him a green light.
Left side of the infield, still halfway. Ortiz will take first on the walk. 2 on 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Kyle Drabek will hand the ball off to John Farrell. He will leave with 2 on and 1 out here in the 6th, allowing just 3 hits to Boston. Jason Frazier comes out of the Blue Jays bullpen. This is his 3rd appearance of the season. Frazier has worked a total of 2 innings, has yet to allow a hit. He's walked 3, but struck out a pair.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for right here. If they can't get the ball on the ground, he can do that also with that split change that he had. They also need a strikeout with a runner at third base and less than 2 outs. They've also taken a look at the numbers that the head-to-head matchup, Frazier and Kevin Youkilis, and they favor the veteran right-hander.
Youkilis just 1 for 15. That's a significant number of at-bats given the fact that Frazier's a relief pitcher. More often than not, he will only face him 1 time in a game. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Youkilis 1 for 2 so far. First pitch strike from Frazier. Euclid picked up his first hit of the season in the second inning, that double.
Thought he had that last night. He was telling me before the ball game he thought he got enough of that one to right field last night, but Bautista ran it down.
He picked on right field again to get his first hit of the year.
Just missed the outside corner. Jason Frazier was traded away from the Blue Jays last July 27th. Reacquired in a January 1st trade. And he's a good addition back to this bullpen. First and foremost, he's a Blue Jay.
Yep.
He has the all-time record for appearances in a ball game. And he's happy to be back.
Still throws hard. Veteran, has been here before.
Foul back to the screen.
Hey, anytime you have a pitcher who has had success in the American League East, and Jason certainly has done that, you want him on your team. For these types of situations, middle innings, get through tough spots if you can get a strikeout or a ground ball.
Pedroia at third, Ortiz at first. Just missed the inside corner. 2-2. Red Sox have broken through here in the sixth, and it goes back to a leadoff walk. Kyle Drabek threw 19 pitches this inning, only 7 strikes, so he was running out of gas. Lost the strike zone. 2-2 to Euclid. On the ground, this could be 2. Escobar to Johnson for 1. Back to first. Double play. Jason Frazier comes out of the bullpen, gets Euclid to hit it on the ground, and when you hit it to this infield, it's pretty much academic. Kyle Drabek with a 3-1 lead. Three-1 Blue Jays here as they are set to bat, bottom of the sixth inning. Edwin Encarnacion will take the first pitch from Daniel Bard, down and away. Encarnacion, an infield single, picked up an RBI in the first. That was the first run of the ball game. Pops us straight back. Daniel Bard's done a good job. Ran into a little bit of a problem in the third inning when he gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, left a couple on board.
Seems to be getting stronger as this game goes along. 7 in a row he has set down.
His last hit was that RBI single by Brett Laurie back in the 3rd inning.
Laurie's on deck. It's that high, hard breaking ball as Encarnacion chases one upstairs.
Looks like he's trying to lift the ball against Bard here. Get the ball in the air. He's at his best when he is short and compact.
2-2. Inside, it's a full count. There's a leadoff walk to Encarnacion. Drabek is the pitcher of record here. He goes 5 1/3, allows 3 hits. All 3 hits were doubles. Holds the Red Sox to just 1 earned run. He walked 3 and struck out 4. Overall, a good start to his season.
Certainly a much different pitcher than what we saw last year. 2 of those walks in that last inning, and I think John Farrell and his staff knew something was up. That 3rd time through the lineup, batters hit .356 against Kyle last year. Ellsbury started that inning, the 6th inning, as the 3rd time through the lineup, so they got him out of there and they turned it over to the bullpen.
Brett Laurie has a single and an RBI. He's also struck out. He struck out to end the 1st. Laurie's a perfect hit and run guy. He can hit the ball all over the diamond. Encarnacion at 1st. There he goes. Hit and runs on. Swing and a miss. Throw to 2nd. Not in time. How about Encarnacion? He has 2 steals tonight. 2 for 2.
When you hit and run like that, that runner's got to make sure that the pitcher goes home, so you can't get a great jump. You're counting on that batter making contact. You see Encarnacion look over his shoulder very quickly to see what Laurie did. Blue Jays catch a break when Saltalamacchia bounces it to Pedroia.
Ball on his strike. He tried to check and lay off that high pitch and fouled it off. It's 1-2. Jays tonight with runners in scoring position, a respectable 3 for 7. In the last night's game, when they lost 4-2, they were just 1 for 4. Crowd starting to get fired up. We're in the 6th. It's a big run out there at 2nd.
Daniel Bard knows it. Brett Laurie knows it. Last 2 pitches have been in to keep Laurie from bouncing the ball to the right side and advancing that runner.
Or he stays on it and tries to hit it to the right side, but fouls it into the seats.
That's one of the hardest things to do for a right-handed batter with 2 strikes, to still even think about trying to advance that runner from 3rd base. You're up there just trying to survive against a hard-throwing pitcher like Daniel Bard. Brett Laurie is thinking about advancing Encarnacion.
2-2. Encarnacion walked and stole 2nd. We have seen it from this ball club this first week of the season. They have good team at bats. They will do a lot of things to move the runner up. We've seen sac flies. We've seen guys hit the ball to the right side to move that runner from 2nd to 3rd. That's what Laurie's got on his mind right now. Bounces this ball to 3rd. Good break by Encarnacion. Laurie's safe. Infield hit for Lowry with his spade, but what a read by Encarnacion. He got the good read off the bat.
Yeah, how many times have we said it through the first 5 games of the season that the Blue Jays' mantra in spring training when it came to base running, they're thinking 90 feet. Encarnacion reads it off the bat beautifully, that slow chopper into the 5-6 hole. Without even a throw, he makes it easily, and then the great speed of Brett Lawrie just outruns the baseball.
The little things have played big already for the Blue Jays this season. Encarnacion got a great read off the chopper off the bat of Brett Lawrie. Lawrie has his second hit of the night. Bobby Valentine to the mound. And he has made the call for the left-hander. Eric Thames will face Thomas when we come back. Ball game. He made his Red Sox debut on Saturday at Detroit when he came in to get the final out of the 7th inning. He was a non-roster invitee to spring training. He pitched in 11 ball games. They got a pretty good idea what Justin Thomas brings to the dance, and he is in now in a crucial situation here in the 6th.
Signed by the Boston Red Sox as a minor league free agent last November. Doesn't overpower you with a fastball, basically a fastball, slider, breaking ball. But they needed another lefty out there. He had a good spring for Bobby Valentine's team, and this is the situation where they got him for. Middle innings, a left-on-left specialist, a chance now for Eric Thames to do some damage.
Thomas has time in the big leagues with Seattle and Pittsburgh. With the Mariners in 2008, Pittsburgh in 2010. Eric Thames, runners at the corners, infield drawn in, nobody out. First pitch breaking ball for a strike. Thames hit .209 against lefty pitching a year ago, compared to a .279 average against righties. Right now, you got to think about big part of the diamond. Stay on the ball and go the opposite way. Hit it to the outfield.
Track it as long as possible.
There goes the runner at first, and Lowrie is in there, uncontested. Red Sox weren't worried about Lowrie. You can see the infield drawn in. Nobody even thinks about second.
Now, if you're Eric Thames, you've got to think about breaking ball right here. He might just show him the fastball, but he's going to want to try and get him out with the breaking ball.
And there's that breaking ball. And right now, Thames has really got to grind. Here's a great opportunity for Thames just to get up on top of the plate. Crowd the plate, put it in play. Thomas is in here for the strikeout.
There are certain pitchers, you can look for the breaking ball and just react to the fastball by using your hands.
Another breaking ball. Down and away. It's 2-2.
You can just sit all over that off-speed pitch. It doesn't have that big blower fastball where he can get it by you. You just react to it with your hands if he tries.
Thomas is in here for one batter. Eric Thames. Missed with the fastball. And you say, well, why doesn't John Farrell pinch hit in this situation? Because Eric Thames is your left fielder.
Yep.
And you're up by 2.
Look for a breaking ball.
Full count. He walked him. Thames did a good job. You were right on the money. Threw him a breaking ball with a full count and worked the walk. So J.P. Arancibia steps to the plate. Bobby Valentine still in the dugout. Arancibia with nobody out and the bases loaded. 3-1 Blue Jays. Way outside. J.P. Arancibia has a grand slam June 3rd at Baltimore off Zach Britton. Also a left-handed pitcher.
I don't think he's thinking about that right now. I think he's thinking about hitting the ball hard and gapping one right here. Sit on the bench and say, hey, let's watch Eric Thames circle the bases right here. Let's see him run. So you're thinking about line drive into the gaps.
Two and 0. One thing you don't want to do in this situation is get too long. Think about doing too much. He's been good with the bases loaded. 3 for 10 with 10 ribbies.
Pick out one pitch right here in one spot. If you're a low ball hitter, let it go.
Big swing and he fouled it back.
Got a little bit long. Tried to lift that ball instead of trying to hit a line drive.
Bases are loaded, still nobody out. Encarnacion at third. Brett Laurie at second. Thames at first. 3-1.
Not too anxious now. See it before you stride.
Base it up the middle. Encarnacion comes in to score. Here comes Laurie right behind him. Arancibia delivers a 2-run single to center.
When you learn to figure out what pitchers are trying to do to you, good things are going to happen like they just did for J.P. Arancibia. I think he knew what type of pitcher Thomas is. He's going to try and get him to roll over on a pitch down and away. He shortens it up. He's not too anxious and just bangs it right back through the middle. That's a great approach with the bases loaded and nobody out. Not too anxious, not too long, and he's credited with 2 RBIs.
He drives in 2. He has 5 on the season. How about Eric Thames? He went first to third on a base hit to center field. The base running in this inning has been big. Edwin Encarnacion walked, then stole second, and went to third on an infield hit off the bat of Brett Laurie. A high chopper right to the shortstop. He read it perfectly.
What are you taught as a base runner at second base? Any ball to your right, you can't advance? Well, that's not true. Those short hoppers, those slow hit balls, if you read it right away, you can advance 90 feet. And Eric Thames, first or third, didn't even hesitate coming around second base.
Still nobody out. Center fielder Colby Rasmus goes after the first pitch and drives it to left. Cody Ross has room. Thames tags at third. He'll come in to score. And it's 6-1 Blue Jays. Thames hustle got Rasmus an RBI.
Alex Anthopoulos was telling us earlier when we had him on, he thought that Kobe Rasmus had some very good at-bats in that Cleveland series. He had a very good game in last night's ball game. And that's a good approach, I think, against a left-handed pitcher right there.
These first 2 runs in this inning will be charged to Daniel Bard. Escobar fouls off the first pitch. So the book is closed on Bard's first big league start. He goes 5 plus 2 batters. Gives up 8 hits and 5 runs. How about the 2 starters? They didn't walk a batter until the leadoff hitter in the 6th. And they both come in to score. Aaron Sebia at first base, a 2-run single. Way inside. Red Sox are just trying to figure out what they have in their bullpen. They got abused in Detroit by the Tigers, and that's going to happen to a lot of teams this year. That Tiger club can really hit.
Yeah, they can hit. And Bobby Valentine has said that. He said, we've lost our closer in Andrew Bailey right at the end of spring training, so it's taking him a few days to figure out what he wants to do with that bullpen. They've got some new faces down there.
After all, this is just the 5th game of the season. Off speed pitch. Over for a strike. It's 1-2. Blue Jays taking advantage of a couple of walks this inning. Eric Thames with a good at bat against Justin Thomas. We have talked about the psychology of this offense and how they are really trying to advance for the next guy. Perfect example was Eric Thames going first to third on the single off the bat of Aaron Sebia. Got himself over at third base for Colby Rasmus. Bouncing ball. Punto has to go to first. Escobar's retired. Aaron Sebia moves up.
And don't you think Colby Rasmus appreciates that? Having to face a left-handed batter with a runner at third base now instead of second base. When Thames went first to third, Rasmus says, hey, all I have to do now is just get the ball up in the air and I've got myself an easy RBI.
Yeah, it's a team game for sure, and Thames deserves a lot of credit. He never hesitated as that ball went into center field. He ran right in the face of Ellsbury and got in position for that sacrifice fly. 2 outs. Kelly Johnson hits it hard, but one hops it right to the first baseman, and the Blue Jays are done here in the 6th, but they put up a 3 spot. 6-1 Blue Jays. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Blue Jays have everything working tonight. They've played good defense again here tonight. They've gotten a good start from Kyle Drabek. Jason Frazier on in relief. Got a double play off the bat of Kevin Youkilis to end the 6th. Ryan Sweeney, the right fielder, will lead things off. Sweeney is officially 0 for 1. He's also walked. Sweeney was picked up by the Red Sox in a trade in December along with Andrew Bailey, who was scheduled to be the closer for Boston. Bailey is out till probably after the All-Star break, having thumb surgery.
How about that? He missed a couple of days early in spring training with an injury. He came back and supposedly collided with Alex Presley. This ball's driven to left field.
Thames can't make the play on it. Sweeney is going to end up at second with a leadoff double. All 4 hits for the Red Sox tonight have been doubles. Thames got twisted around as that ball sliced over his head.
Tough play for a left fielder or a corner outfielder when that ball slices to you. You have to take that into consideration when you go back. You see Thames goes back and then the ball's over his head for extra bases.
4th double, as I mentioned. Youkilis, Ross, Pedroia, and now Sweeney have all doubled. Ross's double came in the 5th. It was an 0-2 fastball from Kyle Drabek. He hit to the wall in left center. Little breathing room for the Blue Jays. They haven't had this kind of lead.
It's the first time we can say that this year. That we got a little bit of a cushion right now. Certainly takes the pressure off the manager as he tries to finish out this ball game with his bullpen. Sergio Santos is unavailable tonight. 33 pitches in last night's game.
Day game tomorrow. John Farrell will see a quick turnaround. The bullpen is well stocked. There are 8 pitchers in the bullpen right now for the Blue Jays, with the addition of Aaron Laffey, 3 left-handers, 5 right-handers. Frazier into the game. All of the available pitchers are listed on the lineup sheet in the respective dugouts. Ross chased the high fastball. Santos will be available for tomorrow's game. Then he will fly to California for the birth of his child. And then he is expected back to the ball club on Saturday before the game. It's a 4 o'clock start Saturday afternoon, so Santos will miss the Friday night game.
First game against Baltimore. Off day on Thursday.
Two and 2. Ross stays alive. Cody Ross now 31 years old. Picked up in the offseason, and it's quite a different look in the outfield right now. Ross is playing in left field. Ryan Sweeney is playing in right field. Carl Crawford played 126 games a year ago in left field. His first year with the Red Sox, and it was a rough year for Crawford.
Yeah, certainly was for Crawford, an all-star. Good idea. come inside.
One out here in the 7th inning. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Took the Yankees a while to get going, but now they're starting to swing the bats a little bit. Derek Jeter had a good night last night. Yankees and Red Sox off to an identical 1-3 start. The catcher, Jared Saltalamacchia, looking for his first hit in the series. He is 0 for 5. Brian Sweeney at second with the leadoff double. Saltalamacchia has hit the ball sharply a couple of times so far in this series, but has nothing to show for it. He's 1 for 12 on the season.
The ball last time up to Jose Bautista in right field, where he topped the ball, got top spin on it, just couldn't get it up in the air. He's also hit a couple of balls hard to the right side of the infield in last night's game. He's going to hit the power too.
Ball and a strike. Luis Perez loosening up. He threw one pitch in the game last night. Closed out the top of the ninth.
Think about the Red Sox. It doesn't matter if they're in Fenway Park or if they're on the road. They are going to hit.
Way upstairs. 2 balls and a strike.
Last year on the road, they hit 112 home runs. More on the road than what they hit at Fenway Park. That was first in Major League Baseball. They had the most runs scored while they were on the road. They're a veteran group. They know how to hit and work over a pitching staff.
Three and one. Nick Punto is a switch hitter. He's on deck. The Red Sox have 3 extra players. Darnell McDonald, Kelly Shoppach, and Mike Aviles on the bench are all right-handed hitters. Big swing and a miss from Saltalamacchia.
Yeah, they've elected to take the extra pitcher early in the baseball season and go with 3 players on the bench. There they are, all right-handed hitters.
Full count.
Perez is warming up for Ellsbury. If we get that far.
Close, but ball 4 to Saltalamacchia. 2 on, 1 out.
The all-new 2012 Honda CR-V. Yeah, it does that. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Jays merchandise shop busy here at Rogers Center. The new uniforms on display, lots of caps, lots of people trying on all of the great merchandise. Hey, what? Seeing a lot of this stuff all over town here in Toronto. Certainly saw our share of that merchandise in Cleveland as well in the opening weekend of the season.
Saw it down in spring training. They sold out of shirts down in Dunedin.
Frazier's having a tough time finding the strike zone. And this Red Sox team is experienced, and they'll make you throw strikes.
There's no panic in the Red Sox. When you face these veteran type of teams, there's no panic.
Punto last year was with the St. Louis Cardinals. He dealt with injuries, appeared in just 63 games, had a total of 133 at-bats. Goes after that high fastball, and he was late. Punto appeared in 6 games in the World Series for St. Louis. It was 3 for 14.
Valentine likes him. Says he gives him good at bats. He's very versatile. He can play him in multiple positions.
2-2. Punto has played shortstop, second, third. He's played in the outfield. Been all over the diamond, and it just almost adds another player. The fact that he's a switch hitter.
I think that's why they can carry 8 relievers and just 3 bench players, because of that type of versatility.
Punto pops it in the air, carrying to left field. Thames turns around, makes the catch. Punto's retired, 2 outs. Now, John Farrell has popped out of the Blue Jays dugout. He's already made the call to the bullpen for the left-hander Luis Perez. Jacoby Ellsbury, the leadoff batter, will bat with 2 on and 2 outs here, top of the 7th. Perez on. On Sportsnet, Kansas City will be in Oakland to take on the Athletics. It all starts at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 7 p.m. Pacific Time. The Royals with that fine young ball club, 2-2 to start the season. Oakland off to a 2-3 start. Lots of baseball right here on Sportsnet.
That Royals team can really hit. Luis Perez into the ball game now for John Farrell's team. His assignment, get the left-handed hitting Jacoby Ellsbury. There are the numbers for Perez. A very fine season last year, but this year he seems to be throwing a lot harder. Snapped off a couple of good breaking balls in Cleveland. Gave John Farrell 4 innings out of the bullpen in that marathon on opening day.
Left-handers a year ago hit .260 against Perez. Jacoby Ellsbury. First pitch breaking ball for a strike. Ellsbury got the rally started in the 6th against Drabek. A leadoff walk. He came around to score on the sac fly by Adrian Gonzalez. It's the only Red Sox run. Another breaking ball. That one gets away from Perez. It's a ball on the strike.
Left-handed pitching, I think, is so important when you face the Red Sox because they've got so many left-handed hitters. Ellsbury, Gonzalez, Ortiz, Sweeney, Carl Crawford when he comes back. So Darren Oliver and Luis Perez, Aaron Laffey will be important in this series.
Fly ball, shallow center. Escobar back. What a play by Yunel Escobar. Rasmus was deep. It was toward the end of the bat. Ellsbury making a bid for a little Texas League blooper, and Escobar ranging out into the outfield over the shoulder. What a beauty. (416-341-1234). Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Come on out to Rogers Center and join us on the next Tweeting Tuesday. Blue Jays got a good one going here tonight. They have a 5-run lead as they are set to bat here in the bottom of the 7th. They'll face a new pitcher, the right-hander Michael Bowden.
Bowden was a starter in the minor leagues for the Boston Red Sox. He was the 47th player taken overall in the 2005 draft with a big arm. Made 119 minor league starts, but now he is in the bullpen for Boston. He's got a good fastball, breaking ball, but his out pitch is a good split.
Bowden's been in the Red Sox organization for 8 years, and he's been in the big leagues in each of the last 4 seasons. This is his first opening day roster. Jose Bautista. So the first pitch upstairs, Bautista. 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of strikeouts, but he's had plenty of support. Blue Jays have scored 6 runs on 9 hits. Bowden pitched a scoreless 8th inning in his season debut Saturday against the Tigers. He pitched in 9 spring training games. A total of 11 innings.
Yeah, there's no question he's got the stuff. You see that fastball. He's got that herky-jerky wind-up. That, if you're not used to it, that can throw you off. Throwing strikes consistently will help him stay in the big leagues.
Tapped out the end of the bat. Bautista's had 4 bats against Bowden. He's 1 for 4, but that 1 hit was a home run. As we mentioned, Bowden has spent each of the last 4 seasons he's been with the Red Sox at one point or another during the season. Two-two pitch to Bautista. Off the plate outside. Full count. Bowden working out of the stretch. Bautista strikes out for the third time tonight. We'll be right back here. Quick turnaround tomorrow, as it'll be a 12:30 start here at Rogers Center. The series finale. Blue Jays take on the Red Sox right here on Sportsnet. The action begins at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 9 a.m. Pacific Time. And if you love pitching, it's a good matchup tomorrow. The classy left-hander of the Red Sox, John Lester, goes up against the Blue Jays' ace Ricky Romero.
A couple of number ones going at it tomorrow afternoon.
Adam Lynn's had a good night at the plate. 1 for 3, double, single, and an RBI. Blue Jays needed to have some success at the plate. They've been scuffling, swinging the bats. Came into this ball game with a team average of 190.
And put together, string some hits together. We haven't seen that a whole lot here in the early parts of the season. They used a couple of walks and an infield single by Brett Laurie to get it going last inning.
And Aaron Sebia delivered a bases-loaded single to center to drive home 2. Then pops this one up. Shallow left field. Shortstop Nick Punto is out to make an over-the-shoulder catch. 2 outs.
I think early in the season, pitchers have the advantage over hitters. Spring training aside, you don't get the best from the pitchers in spring training. A lot of the veterans will be working on things. I don't think they're going to max effort. But so far in this season, the pitchers have been ahead of the hitters.
Again, last night in the major leagues, there were 5 more starting pitchers that pitched at least 7 innings. And that's been a familiar theme early on. Daniel Bard went 5 innings plus 2 batters. He was charged with 5 runs here tonight. Edwin Encarnacion has put a charge in it. Home run. Encarnacion, number 1.
Edwin had to leave no doubt about his first home run this year. He hit a ball in Cleveland that hit off the top of the wall, but this one, he knows it. Just puts his head down as he smokes that ball to left field. Number 1 on the year for Encarnacion.
17 a year ago for the Blue Jays DH. He didn't hit his first until late May last year. Brett Laurie chases one in the dirt. It's 0-2. Laurie's still jumping out at the pitch a little bit, anxious to get things going. He's had a couple of hits tonight, picked up an RBI. But he's still not swinging it the way we saw him swinging it in the spring.
Yeah, jumping out. He's very excitable at the plate. And one of the things that Dwayne Murphy has been working on him is keeping him back just a little bit longer so he could track the ball. Had a good round of BP today, really concentrating in the middle of the field.
I think that's the biggest assignment for hitting coaches, is to identify what a hitter is doing when he's hot. And Laurie was hot as a firecracker all spring. 1-2, 2 outs. Bouncing ball up the middle. Punto has to hurry, unloads in time to get Laurie. But Edwin Encarnacion's had a big night, couple of hits, including his first home run of the season. It's 7-1 Blue Jays.
been hot all spring because he's put a good pass on a lot of these balls. This time right down Broadway, and he doesn't miss it. A nice swing from Encarnacion, full extension, as he picks up his first home run of the season.
Jose Bautista, since he's joined the ball club, this is just the 12th time he's had a 3-strikeout game. The Jays are 2-9 in those previous games, but tonight Bautista's had plenty of support up and down the order. Lots of contributions. Bautista will rarely strike out 3 times in a ball game, and he's getting close.
Yeah, Edwin Encarnacion picked up the slack from Jose here tonight. An infield single, a walk, a home run that we just saw, and 2 stolen bases for Edwin.
Lynn has an RBI, Encarnacion has 2. Laurie has an RBI, Aaron Seavey has a pair, and Colby Rasmus picked up an RBI with a sac fly. 7-1 Blue Jays. Everybody contributing. Yunel Escobar has a couple of hits and he scored a pair of runs. Luis Perez came in to get the final out of the 7. He got Jacoby Ellsbury to pop to short. Dustin Pedroia has a double in 3 trips tonight. Three 3-0. You don't need a leadoff walk. Casey Jansen loosening up. Quick turnaround. You got to save as many pitches as you can out of this bullpen. Ricky Romero goes to the mound. His 2nd start of the season. He'll be opposed by John Lester.
Perez is probably going to be in there to get through the left-handers. Gonzalez, Ortiz. John Farrell can decide if he wants to let him face Youkilis and then Sweeney after that. But just in case, put that right-hander up.
Pedroia flares this one down the right side and out of play. That's a very good bullpen. We've said that all along. They have strike throwers, they have strikeout pitchers, and now they have 3 left-handers to go with their 5 right-handers. Very versatile. And Luis Perez really took a dramatic step forward this spring. More velocity, better command of his breaking ball.
And a good breaking ball, too. That thing is really spinning up there.
Pedroia bounces it toward 3rd. Laurie on the run. And the throw is offline. Laurie was deep at 3rd as Pedroia chopped it on the ground. He had the throw on the move.
And I think he'll learn that he'll have more time when a right-handed batter swings and taps a ball like that. It's tough for him to get out of the box as you watch Pedroia. He'll have time to set his feet and throw accurately. That ball sails on him a little bit and it'll go as a hit for Pedroia.
Dustin Pedroia's 4th hit of the series. Adrian Gonzalez goes after the first pitch and hits it hard to center field. Colby Rasmus tracks it down. 1 out. You've seen the world's greatest athletes grace the cover of Canada's all-new sports magazine. Now it's your turn. Go to sportsnet.ca/myowncover to put yourself on the cover of Sportsnet magazine. I think we ought to do that. Huh?
Yeah.
We should be on the cover of that magazine.
Why not?
Maybe we should log on. We'll have to make our own cover, I'm sure.
Who do we need to talk to?
Brisk business going on at the Jays shop. 1 out for David Ortiz. He's lined to short, grounded to 3rd, and had a sac fly. Ortiz was 2 for 3 in last night's game.
We were just talking about the bullpen and how good it is, how deep it is, how versatile it is. Sergio Santos is going to be just fine. It was a rough one last night where it got away from him, but his stuff is too good. And he's going to bounce back, and I still think he's going to have a big year for the Blue Jays.
Chris Walton made a great point about Santos. We had a chance to visit with the pitching coach prior to the game, and he said, you know what, Sergio Santos is just learning how to pitch. He had just over 28 innings as a pitcher in the minor leagues before he went up with the Chicago White Sox. And it is a difficult place to learn how to pitch in the big leagues. Came up with the White Sox in 2010 and appeared in 56 games. Ortiz gives this a ride to left. Thames backs up just in front of the warning track. 2 down.
So in terms of a pitcher, Santos is just starting out. I mean, he's pitched in the big leagues. He's had success. But his stuff, when you watch him, I know I wouldn't want to be facing him.
And it's really interesting. He was an infielder, shortstop, and a power hitting shortstop, but hit a ceiling as an offensive player and decided to give a shot to pitching. Buddy Bell, the farm director of the White Sox, allowed him to start pitching in 2009. And he moved through the minor league system, but pitched a total of 28 2/3 innings before he got to the big leagues.
And right away, they made him their closer. Matt Thornton blew a couple of ball games last year early for the Chicago White Sox, and Ozzie Guillen put him right into the closer's role.
He just didn't have much experience, and now it's just a matter of the league has caught up to him a little bit. He's got a wipeout slider, but hitters make adjustments. Chris Walton is anxious for an opportunity to help him polish out his pitching skills. Not unlike what Walton has done with Brandon Morrow and tonight's starter Kyle Drabek. They call him Pappy, and all the pitchers have the ultimate respect for their pitching coach. Three and one.
30 saves last year for Sergio, just one the year before when he came into that bullpen for the White Sox.
Three balls and a strike, 2 outs. We are in the top of the 8th. Blue Jays with a 7-1 lead. Walton, in talking about some of the great closers, mentioned Mariano Rivera. He started out as a starting pitcher. Rich Gossage was a starter for the White Sox in the minors. Dennis Eckersley started for the Red Sox and the Cubs and became a great closer. John Smoltz made the transition late. Bounced up the middle. Perez had a shot at it but missed it. Pedroia goes first to third. Luis Perez got the comebacker to the mound, swiped at it, but it got past him, went into center field.
And he got it to the glove side too. He just couldn't get the garage door down fast enough to knock that one and make the play.
So now there are runners at the corners. 2 outs and another left-handed hitter, Ryan Sweeney. Sweeney's had a good series. He has 3 hits in the series. Goes after the first pitch and pops it over near the seats. Laurie reaches for it and slammed into that wall. He jumped over that first camera barrier. He hit his back hard on that padded wall.
And the fans give him a a round of applause because of the effort. I was talking to him today about the play he had in the Camberwell. He felt like he should have made the play.
I tell you what, he is fearless. Watch how he turns and jumps over that first barrier and slams against that second wall. He hit that wall hard, even though it's padded. There goes Euclid. Sweeney fouls it off at the plate. Take a look at Laurie's effort, and there's a fan leaning over and may have tipped that ball before Laurie got his glove over there.
Catch the player. If you need a ball, we'll get you a ball. Catch the player, let him make the play.
There goes Euclid, another foul at home plate. Watch the effort of Laurie here.
Watch where he comes from and how fast and how hard he runs in and gives up his body to try and make the play. And hits right on the corner of that padding, right in his back.
He never really pays too much attention to the score or the situation. Another foul off at the plate. But Laurie has one speed. That's the way he plays.
100 miles an hour.
And the fans love it. His teammates love it. Big difference in the ball game tonight is the teams hitting with runners in scoring position. The Red Sox so far 0 for 8, while the Blue Jays have gone 5 for 10. Euclid is off and running. This time Sweeney strikes out. So Perez strikes out Sweeney to strand 2 more. Red Sox now 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Ken Reed and Ivanka Osback will take a look around Major League Baseball as they wrap up a day, and there's still some late games. Kansas City and Oakland coming up after this ball game. At Laurie talking with the head trainer George Poulos after slamming into that wall along the third base side. Look at John Farrell telling Luis Perez, don't go back out to the mound now. No more. I will tell you all about that in a second, but John Farrell was emphatic. Louis, good job. Don't go back out to the mound. That happened in Cleveland after Perez did such a great job pitching in relief in the opener. He went 4 innings in total, but he went back out for the bottom of the 16th after being told, hey, nice job, Sergio Santos will take it from here. But in the excitement of opening day, he ran to the mound before anybody could stop him. And with the new rule in place this year, once a pitcher crosses the foul line, he has to face at least one batter. So that cost Sergio Santos a save opportunity.
Cost him a save. The Sam Fold rule, if you will.
So John Farrell made sure that Perez would not go back to the mound here tonight. Little tapper out in front of home. Michael Bowden throws wide of the mark. Should be an infield hit for Eric Thames. Thames just beat it into the ground in front of home plate and picks up his first hit of the night.
Hit it in no man's land. You couldn't roll that ball out any better than that. And then Bowden has to barehand it, throw on the run, and Thames is going to get himself an infield hit.
Thames had a great at-bat back in the 6th inning against the left-handed reliever Justin Thomas, who just came into the game, and he worked a walk. Came around to score the 6th run of the game. J.P. Arancibia, 2-run single his last time up. Arancibia now has 5 RBI.
What an at-bat he put together his last time up, too. Stayed right with it. It worked last time. Let's do it again.
Out in front of that pitch, he pulled off the breaking ball and pops it into the seats. And Sebia came to spring training with the objective of trying to stay to the opposite power alley. That was where he wanted to focus his sights toward right center to help him stay on the ball. He wants to boost that average from his 219 number a year ago.
He's lowered his hands a little bit to help him get to some of those pitches. But you're right, setting his sights on hitting the ball the other way or up the middle, not pulling off the pitches, and he put together some good at-bats in spring training.
When you think about pulling the ball all the time, your margin for error is very small. When you stay back and think about going the opposite way, it gives you just a split second longer to decide swing or take, fastball or breaking ball. Strike 3 call. Arancibia strikes out for a second time tonight. Second strikeout for Bowden. Bowden came into the ball game in the 7th. Gave up a 2-out home run to Edwin Encarnacion and a leadoff single to Thames here in the 8th. Brett Lawrie looks none the worse for wear after slamming into that wall in foul ground beyond third. Colby Rasmus had a sac fly in that 3-run 6th inning. It was against the left-hander. That's one thing we didn't see at all last year, was Rasmus trying to hit the ball the other way.
No, he got a chance to go to spring training, work with Dwayne Murphy. When you get traded over from a club in midseason, everything is new to you. And coaches just don't have time to dissect your swing and work on things with you. Season's over by then. But they had the whole spring to work together. Dwayne Murphy talked with Colby Rasmus in the wintertime, talked about overhauling the swing, taking that higher leg kick out of his swing, using the whole field, leveling out your path to the ball. And I think it's a matter of time before he starts hitting the ball with a little bit more consistency.
Second strikeout of the inning. Rasmus fouled the ball back into the seats. Watch the ball. Fan makes a good play here as he reaches with a bare hand and doesn't drop a drink at all. Just went right up the alley, right up that aisleway, and never lost his grip on that can.
Didn't drop a spill it, nothing.
2 outs, top of the order. Kenan Escobar had a good night. Singleton scored in each of his first 2 at-bats. This important guy in this lineup came into the ball game 3 for 22. He's the table setter, and he's done a good job hitting leadoff for John Farrell.
Stayed on the ball tonight with those 2 singles. Times got a little anxious and trying to pull out there. I guess everybody is early in the season when you want to make things happen. Pulling off that slider down and away. But tonight, staying right on it. A couple of base hits.
Ellsbury backs up, makes the catch. Escobar's retired. The Blue Jays are done here in the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. Stay tuned for a preview of what's coming up on Connected. Well, this Blue Jays fan made a great one-handed catch of a foul ball, and remember, it's Tweeting Tuesday, Blackberry Tweeting Tuesdays tonight, so he's getting a lot of text messages from his pals saying, hey, we saw you make that great catch, and you held on to your beer.
Not a drop was spilled.
Casey Jansen on to close out the ninth.
What a job Casey Jansen did the last time he was into a ball game. That was Saturday in Cleveland. 2 innings, 6 up, 6 down for Jansen. He actually got the win in that game.
Had a couple of strikeouts. And 2 strikeouts, 3 pop-ups, and a ground out. Jansen become a huge part of this bullpen.
He throws strikes. His ball moves. He could keep it at the lower part of the strike zone. He can cut his fastball. He's got a looping curveball. It's like a starter who can come in and throw 4 pitches.
Throws that one right by Cody Ross. Ross has 3 strikeouts tonight. First down of the ninth.
Move the ball around the strike zone. This time he goes up and in. Backs up on Ross. Another strikeout for Jansen.
First pitch strike to Jared Saltalamacchio. Blue Jays have out hit the Red Sox 11-6. Jays have double-digit hits for the second time this season. The first time they had double-digit hits, it took them 16 innings. That was opening day. 7 runs on 11 hits. A little breakout night for the hitters. Good start for Kyle Drabek against a team that has just worn him out.
That is the story, I think, of the night. The way Kyle came out, strikeout. He had 4 strikeouts the first couple of innings. Had a double and a walk in the second inning, and then ended up striking out the side.
Drabek had a stretch of 9 straight retired. Went 5 1/3, allowed 3 hits, a single run. It was earned. Walked 3, struck out 4. He threw 91 pitches over 5 1/3, and he was in control.
In control. And that's what we talked about in the opening. He had to do 2 things: be in control of his emotions and be in control of his pitches, and he was that tonight.
Well, what an encouraging sign to have Alvarez and Drabek have back-to-back solid starts. Popped out of play.
And they're doing it. Alvarez last night and Kyle Drabek tonight against a very good hitting Boston Red Sox team.
Ricky Romero will go to the mound to pitch the series finale. Romero went 5 innings in Cleveland through 96 pitches. But 43 of those 96 pitches came in the second inning. Full count. Strike 3 call. Totolamaki was halfway up to first base. That delayed strike call from Tim McClellan.
He's been doing it for years. You gotta wait on him. Right at the bottom part of the strike zone for Jansen, right at the knees, framed beautifully by Eric Sevilla. Jansen has averaged, since the Blue Jays moved him into the bullpen, a strikeout an inning.
Number 9 hitter Nick Punto takes a first pitch strike. Jansen with a chance to strike out to side here in the ninth. Tonight was Kyle Drabek's 18th big league start. Just the 4th time in his career he's had a start with 5+ innings of work and just 1 earned run allowed.
He was in control. He looked like a big league pitcher, the way he just mastered himself out on the mound. He just stayed together, wasn't falling all over the place, stayed within himself, and threw strikes.
Bouncing ball through the right side into right field. The 2-out base hit for Nick Punto. His first hit of the night. That'll turn the lineup over one more time.
That 2-seamer from Drabek tonight at times was explosive.
There were times when it appeared to nearly handcuff the catcher, J.P. Arancibia.
And he knew it was coming.
Top of the order, the leadoff batter, Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury looking for his first hit of the series. He's 0 for 7 with a walk. Two balls and no strikes. Blue Jays trying to even the series at a game apiece. They lost a tough 4-2 ball game last night. Went into the 9th inning with a 2-1 lead. Way inside, it's 3-0. Jansen wants a new baseball. He made a great point about Kyle Drabek earlier in the game about trying easier, and I think that was what we saw from Drabek. He got 94 with good movement with a very smooth delivery.
That means a lot more than 96 or 97 when it was straight. Back off the gas pedal just a little bit. Concentrate on throwing a good pitch, and you'll get out. I remember the changeup he threw, I believe it was to David Ortiz. And he flew out. Maybe it was Gonzalez. They flew out on a 3-2 changeup.
Check swing, foul at the plate. It's a full count. Red Sox down to their last strike. 26,351 in attendance. Good crowd for the second game of the season. There goes the runner. It's ball 4. Ellsbury walks for a second time tonight. A 2-out single and now a 2-out walk. The Boston Red Sox have a tough schedule to begin the season. They started out on the road in Detroit. They lost 3 there. They won the first game here in a 3-game set. They'll go home and open up against Tampa Bay. And then that great Texas ball club comes to town, and then they play 3 against the Yankees. That's a tough start to a season.
Yeah, it certainly is. Detroit, everybody talks about their great hitting, and they certainly have some great hitters. But they've got Justin Verlander, and they've got Porcello, who won today, in a very deep bullpen. And then you've got Tampa Bay's pitching staff.
Jeremy Hellickson had a great start to his season.
And then the Yankees come to town. Texas's pitching staff is as good as anybody's in the American League, I think.
Justin Pedroia hits it hard. It's through the left side for a base hit. Gary Royster was waving Punto home, but he stopped at third. Blue Jays probably wouldn't have made the throw to the plate in that situation, but the bases are loaded.
Looked like they were conceding the run. Thames as Pedroia, what a series he has had so far here at Rogers Center. Thames comes in, smothers the ball, and was conceding that runner at second base. Punto, you see Royster sending him home. Like Punto got his steps mixed up around third base.
You don't want to go any further than this. Bases are loaded, 2 outs, and the meat of the order is up. That'll get the bullpen up and working and make the manager get off the bench. First pitch strike to Gonzalez. Punto's at third, Ellsbury at second, Pedroia at first. Fouled out of play, 0-2. Francisco Cordero is going to start to move around and throw down in the bullpen. Oh, 2 outs. Gonzalez stays alive.
We were talking to Casey Jansen in spring training about his cut fastball that he is using. He is also trying to throw a splitter at times, and said, that's just for some left-handers in the American League. Well, I think this might be one of them right here. Gonzalez, excellent against the fastball. Almost 400 against the fastball. This might be a good time for it.
There's a little looper down the right side. This is a fair ball. 1 run is in. Ellsbury comes in to score. Pedroia will be stopped as the ball bounced out of play. And Gonzalez has made things dicey here in the ninth. He kept that ball fair down the right field line.
Looked like it might have been the cut fastball that got in there, and he just muscles the ball down that right field line and keeps it fair. I think he broke his bat. But he'll pick up a couple of RBIs. Watch this ball just stay fair and then bounce into the stands. Trying to push that ball foul, and it just will not go. Made a pretty good pitch right in on his hands, but he's able to keep it fair.
Second RBI of the game for Adrian Gonzalez. It's a 7-3 game. John Farrell thought he was going to get out of this inning without getting anybody up, and now Cordero has to get serious down in that bullpen. Second and third, David Ortiz. Big cut and the foul straight back. You can see Cordero is throwing with some intent.
The big run is the one on deck. That's the tying run. That's Kevin Youkilis.
Two. Jansen came into the game in the ninth. He struck out Cody Ross, struck out Saltalamacchia. It looked like it was going to be a breeze, but the Red Sox have made it tough. Another 0-2 count. There's been some debris thrown on the warning track. The ground crew is going to retrieve it, and Aaron Seavey will take time to go out and talk to his pitcher.
Good idea. Figure out what Casey Jansen wants to throw here. You see Jansen telling JP exactly what he wants to do.
No time for any indecision here. Strike three call. Casey Jansen throws a strike to David Ortiz. Jansen has owned Ortiz. Ortiz is now 0 for 9 against the Blue Jays right-hander. They made it interesting in the ninth, but the Blue Jays hold on for a 7-3 win. Contributions all over the field. Kyle Drabek picks up the win. We'll play for the series tomorrow afternoon. Stay tuned for Connected.